So you may have heard the term employment allowance. You may have seen it on a blog or an email on HMRC's website. You may have received a letter from HMRC, one of those lovely letters that's very vague, doesn't really make any sense, and quite frankly scares the hell out of most of our clients. So in a nutshell, the employment allowance is a grant. It goes towards the employer's national insurance payments that you make every month. And for the tax year 2021, the employment allowance is £4,000. In this blog, we'll explore what the employment allowance is, how you can claim it, what national insurance is, and how it all works and everything else. So carry on watching for more. So let's start with going through what employer's national insurance is. If your employee earns over the national insurance threshold, that means that you will make national insurance contributions on behalf of the employee. These are employer contributions. They're a cost to your business. And just to confuse you, the employee will have some deducted from their salary as well as the employee contributions. So the two different types. So the allowance is for the employer ones. So it's basically reducing your costs as an employer for having staff. Now, every year you'll need to apply for this or ask for it to be claimed, and you can do that through your payroll software. So if you're using Xero, you just need to pop over to payroll settings and the HMRC tab, and in there there'll be some little tick boxes for you to claim it for the relevant years. Now, I'm sorry to say that you won't actually receive this as cash in your bank account. It's an allowance that's offset against the payments you need to make to HMRC every month. So let's say, for example, in April, when you run your first payroll for the new tax year, your employer's national insurance amount is £5,000 that you need to pay. The £4,000 will be deducted from that, so you'll actually only need to pay £1,000. Similarly, if you've got a smaller wages bill, so say your national insurance, the employer's part is £400 a month, then you'll get that £400 deducted for the first 10 months, and then in month 11 and 12 is when you'll actually start to make that payment. And another one, sorry to say, but if you don't use the full allowance in the full tax year, then I'm sorry, but you don't get the balance as a cash payment. So this all sounds great. So who actually is eligible? Well, businesses and charities with more than one employee can claim the allowance, as long as the total of their employer's national insurance bill for the previous tax year was less than £100,000. If you're a sole director with one other employee at least, or you're two directors with or without employees, then you can also claim the allowance. Unfortunately though, sole directors completely on their own with no other employees cannot claim the employment allowance, which is why usually you're on a lower salary than the personal allowance. If you've not known about this before, then don't stress. You can backdate a claim for up to 4 years. So if you haven't claimed and you're eligible, then get claiming. And this one you will get a refund because you've already paid the money, so you'll be getting the refund of what you've paid. Again, you can either do it through Xero, as I've shown you before, or if that's not available, you can download the RTI tools from HMRC and do it through there. And as always, we usually apply for this at the beginning of the tax year, so April in every year, and by about June, July time, HMRC will start sending out all the letters to people to say that they've successfully been able to claim the allowance, which we know because we've been doing since April. So just don't worry about the letter, it's literally just confirming it's been applied on HMRC's system. You can just file it with all your records, you don't need to do anything else. So I hope that clears up any confusion, answers any questions around the employment allowance. But as always, if you want to understand more, understand how it affects your own personal situation, or if you're eligible, then please do not hesitate to get in contact with us. Have a read through the rest of the blog. There's a little bit more information in there, as well as a link to HMRC's full guidance if you're really that bored and want to read it. I hope this helped.